Hello class, today we are going to be exploring Paleolithic art. I entitled this lesson, A Journey into Our Ancestors' Creativity. Paleolithic art offers a fascinating glimpse into the minds and lives of our ancient ancestors, who lived thousands of years ago. This form of art, created during the Paleolithic period, which spans approximately 2.5 million years ago and dates back to around 10,000 BCE, reflects the dawn of creativity and expression. In this lesson, we will dive into the characteristics, types, significance of the Paleolithic period. First, let's define the Paleolithic period. The Paleolithic period is known as the Old Stone Age. It is the earliest prehistoric period. Prehistoric means before writing, okay? Before words, or before writing words, okay? During this time, Homo sapiens created crucial survival skills and cultural practices. Survival was the main thing. It's tough to live when you don't have a grocery store and you don't have Walmart, and you don't have Target. Characteristics of Paleolithic art and materials. What did these artists use for their materials? Stone, bone, ivory from the tusks of animals, and occasionally clay were the primary materials that they would use. They would use simple things like flint, which is a hard rock, and obsidian, where they would carve and scratch things into the rock, a lot like people do, like, you know, in public places like bathrooms and stuff. You know, graffiti, it was alive and well back then. All right, subject matter. The animals predominantly are depicted due to their vital role in survival and spiritual significance. Remember, like the Plains Indians, they lived off of bison. They got their clothing, their food, their sinews, their ropes, their strings. They used every piece of those animals, okay? So they were like a grocery store out there. So the same thing with Paleolithic humans, when they were using these animals for everything. Occasionally, we find representations of humans, but they're super simplified. Here's some examples here. And sometimes you'll find just abstract geometric shapes and patterns, like these paleoglyphs. Some of the techniques they're using, here's some engraving, incising, carving the surfaces, but a lot of the times they'd use pigments, such as natural pigments like red and black ochre, which is like a stone that's really soft, and it's applied with fingers, brushes, and blowing through a tube. If you would take like red clay, break it up into a bottle, put a straw in it, and then you blow across the straw, it will create a vacuum sucking out the red clay into the straw, and then it splatters all over. So they would use like their hands for stencils, and then they'd like, and would blow red paint and leave a handprint. Pretty cool stuff. Notable sites: Lascaux, France. Okay, this is the Hall of the Bulls. Altamira, Spain. Okay, this is considered to be the Sistine Chapel, which is like this really beautiful place in Rome. This is the equivalent of that, okay? This is like a Paleolithic church of sorts. Look at all these beautiful animals. And they sometimes show animals in occasional, or let's see here, yeah. And then Chauvet, France. Here's another example of some cave paintings. Their techniques, they were painting with natural pigments, often incorporating natural contours of the caves. A contour of the cave is like if it had a bump, it looked like an animal, they kind of make that, they kind of like add to it to make it look 3D. So it was like, ooh, why paint on a flat wall when you can make a 3D artwork? So that was super cool. Sometimes they would do sculptures, mostly figurines carved from stone, ivory, and bone. Having kids back then, the Paleolithic, was really important because you're probably going to lose one or two to either disease or animals or accidents. You get a broken leg with no medical care and no hospitals, you're not going to do so well. So it's really important. I think beauty is kind of funny. This artwork right here is the Venus of Willendorf. And what we can tell when we look at these early artworks is, you know, nowadays beauty is considered to be, you know, sometimes people think the thin is beautiful. Oh, I'm getting chubby, so I'm not beautiful. But beauty, the idea of beauty has changed through time. A Paleolithic man was looking for a woman with big hips. If you got a woman with small hips, there's a chance she was going to have complications with her birth, right? You didn't want a woman with small breasts. You want a woman with large mammaries, because these would be where you would get your groceries, okay? So notice that the Venus of Willendorf has a lot of large they have large area because we're talking about baby feeding machines. We're talking about the survival of the human race at this point. So beauty has changed over the time. A lot of the artworks are portable. Okay, we find little portable totems. Remember, these people as hunters and gatherers, they would have to follow the fish, or they would have to follow the bison or the herds to keep fed. So you didn't want to have a massive rock artwork. You want to have small figurines. Something was portable that you could put into your pocket and just carry with you. And these things were supposed to bring fortune and luck. So the significance of Paleolithic art, so basically reflects early human cognitive development in symbolic thinking. Before there were letters, there were symbols. Okay? It's kind of funny how we're going backwards and now emojis are the symbols that we use now. They demonstrate a profound connection and understanding of the natural world. All of these artworks reflected the environment that these people lived and their struggle to survive. Perseverance and legacy. The remarkable preservation of cave paintings allowed us to study and appreciate them today, such as Lascaux, Chauvet, and all those places. And they provide us a link to our distant ancestors, reminding us of our shared human history. You know, sometimes we get so worked up about what's different about all of us. But in reality, we're all humans and we're all struggling to survive. And I think Paleolithic art in itself, everybody can address to it because we all have to survive. In conclusion, studying Paleolithic art is like peering through a time portal into the creative minds of our ancient forebears. It is a profound appreciation for their ingenuity, resourcefulness, and spiritual connections with the natural world. We gain valuable insights into the roots of human expression and creativity, bridging the gap between our modern selves and those who became before us. Today's activity is going to be, I'm just going to stop the video here and I'm going to do a demonstration. All right, now it's time to do the project. First thing I'm going to do is crumple up this paper. Give it a big old squeeze. All right, got it. Now I got to unwrap it. So now we've got our cave wall. Here's the process. Okay, you can get it out easy. You can start out easy. See this? This is red. This is called terracotta. It's a very red clay. Just stick your hand in there. This is a cave wall. Okay, get your hand covered, and boom. Okay, don't get it on your clothes. Okay, especially if you're wearing white. Then go over to the sink. Wash your hand. Okay, don't leave a mess. It comes off real easy. See? If I can wash my hand with one hand, you can too. The next step, we have terracotta clay, which has got red in it. We have white clay, and I have charcoal briquettes. The cave people would create fires and then they put their sticks out and then they have charcoal. Charcoal is one of the earliest things. So we have these colors, and I even have a little bit of red chalk because there was chalk back then. So they found soft colored rocks to do their coloring. Your assignment is to print your hand, and next to your hand, draw an animal using at least 2 colors. As long as I can tell it's an animal, and you keep it small because I have a lot of wall, then you're good. Let's see here. I'm going to draw, what's a good animal? Let's see here. I like fish. So I'm going to draw, I'm drawing a fish, give it some gills, a little bit of fins. Okay, but I want to have a couple more colors. Give it a big old eyeball. There. So I got a fish, right? I want to get a little red color. So let's see. Here I'm going to make it white. Actually, I want to go white. I'm going to scrape in this white clay. All right, that looks pretty good. I lost my eye because I'm going to make my eye a little bit darker. There we go. Ooh, that's looking good. And then I want to give it like a red fin on the side using this terracotta and a red fin here. Boom. So then all you do is put your name here with a Sharpie. Correction, all I want you to do is use a brown marker and then put your name. And there you go. You do that and you get your points. That's today's project. So remember, we're using natural materials to paint animals and do handprints on our cave wall, which we will display. You should easily get this done today. After you get done with this, you need to make sure you have all of your assignments turned in because report cards go out on Thursday. Hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I look forward to seeing what animals you draw. Goodbye.